Welcome back, everyone. It's BrightLearn here, and today we're diving into a conversation that's as electrifying as it is enlightening. I recently had the chance to sit down with two titans of the health and wellness world, Mike Adams and David Wolfe, for an interview that's sure to get your mind racing and your heart pumping. We're talking about the evolution of health awareness, the awakening of spiritual consciousness, and the powerful push towards decentralization. So, grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's unpack this fascinating dialogue. Mike Adams kicks off the conversation by welcoming David Wolfe, a pioneer in the raw and clean food movement, to the show. It's clear from the get-go that these two have a deep respect for each other, having followed each other's work for years. They reminisce about the early days when their ideas about food and health were considered radical. David reflects on the journey, saying, "The things we were teaching 15 years ago are now being put into practice by the government. It's an impossible reality." Mike nods in agreement, highlighting the shift in public perception. Back then, it was pretty radical to talk about the dangers of processed food and the importance of raw foods. Now, it's common sense. This exchange sets the stage for a deeper discussion about the challenges they faced and the victories they've achieved. The conversation takes a turn as they discuss the resistance they've encountered from Big Pharma and the food industry. David shares his thoughts on the recent political shifts, saying, "The election of RFK Jr. and Trump was a profound moment. It felt like a miracle after years of fighting against the system." He recounts his experience of fasting and praying during the election, emphasizing the power of collective intention. Mike adds, "We've seen a massive awakening, especially after the COVID insanity. Millions of people are waking up to the fact that the viral narrative is a fraud. This leads to a discussion about the dangers of nanotechnology and the potential for stage pandemics, highlighting the ever-evolving landscape of health threats." As the conversation progresses, David shares his insights on the spiritual awakening happening globally. The deepest part of the spiritual awakening is occurring. People are turning away from fear and towards love. He talks about the importance of breaking down old narratives and embracing new possibilities. It's about entertaining possibilities, not just beliefs. We want to entertain a really incredible possibility for humanity. Mike agrees, emphasizing the need for a shift in consciousness. For every awakening, there's typically a collapse event or trauma first. Think about COVID. It was a fear-based psyop that initially convinced many people. But going through that trauma and surviving it led to an awakening. He believes that a similar awakening is happening with finance, as people realize the flaws in the current system. The discussion then shifts to the concept of decentralization. Mike and David both agree that decentralization is key to a free and prosperous future. "We shouldn't have to get permission from another human being to say something to people," Mike asserts. They discuss the importance of platforms like Telegram and decentralized systems that allow for free speech and expression. David shares his experience of being censored on platforms like YouTube and Pinterest, saying, "I had to find a platform where I could speak my mind without being silenced." He emphasizes the need for privacy and the dangers of a surveillance state. "Privacy is a basic human right," he states. Mike introduces the topic of open source AI, sharing his excitement about a new project. "We're working on an open source AI model called Enoch. It's going to encapsulate everything we've been talking about for years: natural health, herbs, decentralization, knowledge." He believes that this technology can help bypass censorship and empower people with information. David is intrigued, saying, "I'm so glad you're committed to staying on top of the technology. This is life-saving." He sees the potential for AI to revolutionize the way we access and share information, especially in the health field. The conversation wraps up with a focus on the concept of natural abundance. Mike and David both believe that abundance is our natural state, and scarcity is an illusion. God's economy is based on unlimited natural abundance, Mike explains. They discuss the importance of reconnecting with nature and the healing power of the natural world. David shares his passion for trees, saying, "If you're called to interact with the soil in some way, please do it. It's good for your soul." He talks about his own experiences with farming and the joy he finds in growing his own food. As the interview comes to a close, Mike expresses his gratitude for David's work and his optimism for the future. I love your message of optimism, and I look forward to what you're going to do in 2025 and beyond. David thanks Mike for his support and shares his excitement for the upcoming year. 2025 is going to be the best year ever. We're winning, and I'm ready for more. And there you have it, folks. A conversation that's as inspiring as it is informative. If you want to learn more about David Wolfe and his work, check out his website at davidwolfe.com or follow him on Telegram at davidavocadowolf. And don't forget to subscribe to brighteon.com for more thought-provoking content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.
This has been a BrightLearn.ai summary of an interview between David Wolfe and Mike Adams on January 6, 2025. The full interview is available at brighteon.com, where you can also find podcasts and special reports by Mike Adams and other creators. Visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage of this interview and breaking news on critical stories that will keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.